Hi Claire, this is Fancy, and I'm looking at your latest iteration. I'm very excited. What a long way you've come since the beginning, through this third or maybe fourth iteration. And thank you so much for posting the one that you displayed in critique so that I could compare. That's so helpful. You don't even know how helpful that is. All right, so I think you're well on your way. I think the big thing we want to do is kind of keep it from becoming a pattern orientation, and I don't feel that it is. I like the addition of more points of emphasis. It helped break up some areas that were just, kind of overall allness in their treatment. And so I think perhaps just I'm going to push you a little bit further in that direction. So you have this one here that we understand as a point of emphasis because through closure, because we see the complete ones here and here, and we know that that's what is over here off the picture plane. I think that it would be nice to have another one, somewhere down in here too. Again, think of asymmetric balance, even just like a little suggestion of one, just like you have, um, but not making it a pattern orientation. All right, so let's go to these areas that are in between your points of emphasis. And by the way, it's really nice. It's a lot of depth. So I like this kind of strict gradation, and then it's kind of contrasted with these pathways or this outer frame that's gradating. But some modules are thicker, some are thinner, so it has a more casual feel to it. So I really like that. I think overall this is a really nice and attractive kind of point of emphasis. It works out well. Now, your point of emphasis, well, now I'm beginning to think, do we really call it a point of emphasis or do we call it a focal point? Because we start out with the dark hub, but then it jumps to white. So this isn't gradating away from itself, but this gradates, and then there's strong contrast again. And I think that's okay. I think that's fine. They definitely unify. Um, and again, it only has to gradate away from itself on two sides. So for me, it's more maybe kind of a focal point. Let me think about that for a second. Regardless, I feel that it's working. I'm just trying to give you the best definition possible. With these other pathways, I would start to create pathways around these units that gradate well from like very light, to very dark, to the very dark part of your scale. So in some places you do that, like here's dark and it's gradating through the darker grays, lighter middle grays, and then it kind of jumps to white. I would keep these gradations very smooth and fluid to kind of lead the eye around to these different points of visual interest. And so this is working well. Then you have one running along, well, we've got this one here. So if this is part of your module, okay, so it isn't. So this actually is part of the module here. Okay, so you have a pathway here. It's kind of, and it runs into, I might actually have it jog off here because this is kind of your whole module. It's like flat gray on this side and then kind of random grays on this side, right? So if we're looking at that, then this pathway that runs in between kind of runs into that outer random border. So I would actually have it kind of cut it right here, right through there. So not continue to here, but continue through here. And if you make them smoothly gradate, then it's going to make it easier for the eye to follow it and to understand that it's not a part of this. And then I said, so you need to kind of figure out where those pathways are. Let's see, that's this one. So you have one here and one here. So you actually have kind of two pathways here, right? And then this one kind of continues. So some of them kind of, form a diamond shape. And then some of them, the pathways kind of move off. And that could be interesting too. Some of them can be encapsulated like you have here. And then maybe some of the pathways can kind of, you know, continue elsewhere. Um, But make sure you have nice, smooth gradations and transitions. Um, this part here is a little bit broken up in a different way. See how these are kind of round and big, small, square, big. This forms kind of a grouping that's very regular. They're all small pieces. So you need to break that one up more. And then in this area too, it needs to be broken up more. So that's why I said maybe put another suggestion of one of these visually interesting modules somewhere in here. So this is a problem area. Need to kind of define this one better. This one too, let's see here. This is the border of that one. So, something needs to kind of happen in here. This is a little bit ill-defined, so we need to know what that is. And then this area too is ill-defined. So you're really close, and I look forward to seeing your next one. Really, really good improvements.